that to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. And to be late is to be unprofessional. My name is Cherie Nelson Kabab, but everybody calls me Miss Chillin'. Chillin' is my stage name. Born and raised Chicago, Illinois, from the Midwest. And right now I am the technology director, the Intel Computer Clubhouse technology director at the Modal Zaffaroni Boys and Girls Club of the Peninsula in East Palo Alto, California. Spoken word plays a very huge role in my life. It's the art of language. And what I do is I lure the youth in the ICC by bringing life to creativity through the spoken words. I gravitated to writing to keep hope alive. My operation pushed and shoved me into automatic drive. Deprived of fame and fortune, but daily I strive to revive. My destiny is somewhere off in eternity, but I have not yet arrived. One of the biggest challenges in my life is I was a young mother. I had two daughters, one at 18 and 20. When there's only an 18 or a 20-year difference between a parent and a child, it's almost like you're growing up with your kids. I thought if I set a guideline for my daughters that education was really important, that I modeled behavior and got my education, not just my bachelor's degree, but then move on to get my graduate degree, then they would do the same thing. Being a young parent and not really having a professional career defined at that time, it was tough. I had to rely on the welfare system. I had to use everything that my grandma and my mom taught me to be the best mother that I could be to my daughters. I was a single mother, but also I had to learn how to multitask and do things while they were in school so that I could become a better mother, so I could instill education, so I could show them the things in life that they could accomplish despite the obstacles or the trials and tribulations that they would be faced with. I had to develop some guidelines for myself and for my daughters as far as education was concerned. So I didn't attend college until 9 years after I graduated from high school, but once I decided to go, I didn't stop for 10 years until I got my second master's degree. Now, please don't misunderstand, babies are a gift from God. It was a challenge, but it was a great challenge, and I'm just thankful that they chose me. So the one thing I've learned from any other challenges that I've had in my lifetime is try to be happy. Try to discover or maintain happiness in some way, form, or fashion. It's not anything that you can learn in school. It's not anything that you can learn from the internet or pick up from. It's nothing anybody can teach you. You got to discover where your happiness is in any situation, and despite the challenge, do what you have to do to get through it. I had no idea that my career choice for life would be a youth developer. It's funny how the creator has a sense of humor and kind of sets you up to do something that you really enjoy, but it was never a part of the plan. So I'm not sure that I'll be a clubhouse director forever, but I know that I'll work with youth for a very long time. As a matter of fact, I always tell the kids that I work with that my job here is not done until I have a mentee that is a student at MIT, which is my favorite technology institute in America, MIT in Boston, Massachusetts. Some things that motivate and inspire me, believe it or not, are struggles. Frederick Douglass has a great quote, "Therefore with no struggle there is no progress." So anything that comes really easy for me, I tend to run away from it and probably not spend too much time trying to do whatever it is. That is, if there's a struggle or there's a challenge or there's something that's going to take me a little while longer to figure it out, those are the things that I gravitate towards, because with struggles comes progress.
Don't judge a book by its cover. Obviously, with people being the main subject, just don't assume you know anything about anyone, because things are not usually what they seem. My name is Alexis Hammer. I was born in San Francisco and grew up mostly in Palo Alto. I work for AmeriCorps, and I'm at Menlo Atherton High School during the day, and the Menlo Park Boys and Girls Clubhouse in the afternoon to the evenings. I'm at MA 11 to 5, Monday through Friday, and there I do some case manage work. So I kind of focus on just a few students and check their grades almost every day, observe their classes, that kind of stuff. And I also help run a after-school program called My Life, and that's sort of tutoring and one-on-one work. Same thing at Boys and Girls Club. A lot of mentoring and case managing and one-on-one tutoring, but also just random things that need to get done. If, dinners aren't prepared, hop on that and make sure that those get ready. A challenge that has shaped who I am today would probably have to be just high school in general. Those were definitely some difficult times. Starting first with what was going on at home. My parents were in the midst of a divorce, and there was just a lot of fighting and arguing and a lot of instability, and that sort of spilled into all other aspects of my life, especially academically, because I wasn't sleeping well, and all the chaos sort of spilled over to my days at school, and I was less focused and less motivated, and obviously that made college applications just a nightmare. So both of those parts of my life were really difficult. And then that kind of just affects everything else. You're not sleeping well, your family situation's a mess, your friendships, your relationships are jeopardized. So all of those things definitely made high school, difficult. They're not very fun things to go through when you already have to be at school and awake for 7-8 hours a day. The family fighting was the biggest struggle during that time, just because when your family situation isn't good, that's kind of what's supposed to be your stability, then it makes everything else seem a lot less important in a weird way. So if I'm fighting with my parents, then school kind of seems like it's not that big of a deal, which it obviously is. So I'd say the family fighting was what really made me just put school on the back burner. And that's obviously not a good thing when you're trying to build yourself up to be ready for college and whatnot. So the family fighting was definitely the most distracting and negative influence during those years. But I think that those struggles were ultimately good and empowering because they made me want to do what I do now, which is working with high school students and trying to make sure that they have less of a hard time than I did, or just, help them in any kind of way I can, because I understand what it's like to not have an easy high school experience. I guess a valuable lesson or motto that has been really beneficial for me is just work hard and be persistent, because good things usually don't come easy. And I mean, to make it in this world, there being like so many people that are also trying to make something of themselves, you really just have to work hard. Even if it takes doing something that you really hate, for example, a math test or whatever, you just got to keep being persistent, you got to push through it, and just not give up. Work hard, be persistent.